GenNet.
Welcome to GenNet, the changing attitudes of the next generation. I'm your host, Ben Blanchette.
And I'm Alexis Ostman. Today we are going to dive into what is perhaps the most charged topic of the time period, politics.
Specifically, why GenNet is so fed up with our government and what they want to replace it with.
But first, a word from our sponsor.
Are you tired of politics? Then come over to my podcast hosted by Kyle Faria. It's called You Playing Games With Me Right Now? The first episode is about two Xbox nerds. A bromance between two broskies. We talk about Fortnite and other stupid games. Join us today.
GenNet is notorious for their involvement in politics. Whether it be for climate change or gun violence, GenNet has pulled together to fight for the greater good.
Unfortunately, protests don't seem to be working anymore.
America's current form of government has repeatedly ignored these cries for change. So, GenNet has turned to a new ideology for how the world should be run. Democratic socialism.
The word socialism strikes fear into the hearts of true Americans. But what is there really to fear? Why do boomers shudder at the very thought of a socialist society? And why does the new generation love it so much? Let's take a look. The first question we have to ask ourselves is, what's the difference between capitalism and democratic socialism?
According to Merriam-Webster, capitalism is an economic system characterized by private or corporate ownership of capital goods, versus Time's definition of democratic socialism as collectively owned businesses and forms of government in which workers and government entities have more control over the means of production and distribution of goods.
What does that all mean? Basically, capitalism favors private corporations regulating business, while democratic socialism prefers a balance of power between the government and its citizens. Supporters of capitalism, boomers specifically, don't like democratic socialism because they don't want the government controlling business. They say things like, socialism is communism, and it's nothing but a dictatorship. But here's the thing, the government already does control big business. Capitalist government regulates business through tax cuts based on income, deciding where businesses are allowed to be located. Basically everything that boomers are afraid of is already happening. And the fact of the matter is, it's getting much worse. For instance, most political campaigns are funded by big business, which sways politicians' views. This is the main reason why Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, didn't pay a single cent in taxes in 2018. GenNet is tired of the very same thing that boomers fear, corrupt government having total control in the affairs of big business.
GenNet is also tired of capitalist leaders ignoring important issues. Our current leader, Donald Trump, has openly and vehemently denied climate change, something that is very real and very noticeable. Diminishing resources such as oil and water are also a worry of GenNet. Not for capitalist boomers, though. Some capitalists argue that diminishing resources is actually a good thing because it will actually increase the value of the resources. In other words, the world dying because of human consumption is a good thing because money. This is exactly what GenNet is sick of.
GenNet is also sick of ignorance, not just ignoring the scientific facts of climate change, but of the ignorance towards the violence, discrimination, and unchecked poverty in America. Boomers claim that police brutality against minorities doesn't exist, but the numbers are clear. According to FBI statistics, 25% of victims killed by police are black, despite making up only 13% of the population, and minority youths are 9 times more likely to be shot by a police officer than white youths.
Boomers tell GenNet to be grateful. They say that we're better off than the other socialist countries. Meanwhile, Bezos has enough money than most countries, while 21% of children in America still live in overt poverty. Our current form of government has not proven itself capable to GenNet to handle these issues. So what is GenNet's reaction to the ignorance and self-destruction of capitalism? The push for democratic socialism. As of 2018, the Democratic Socialists of America has reported that over 70% of their members are youth with functioning chapters in their communities. They hold protests, rally for campaigns, all things that they are told adults should be doing, they are actively participating in. While 60% of GenNet believe that the country is heading in the wrong direction, they are doing something to change it.
GenNet, along with millennials, will make up 37% of voters in the 2020 election. I expect to see a dramatic shift in political ideology within America within the next few years. I'm Ben Blanchette.
And I'm Alexis Ostman.
Signing out.